It's time for the movie raid, and tonight's victim is a burlesque dancer as well as actress Selene Luna, which played in My Bloody Valentine 3D as well as Demonic Toys 2. Hello.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Now, Halloween's coming up. What do you have planned for?
Well, I love Halloween, but unfortunately, I'm going to be on an airplane on Halloween. But if I land early enough, I plan to dress as Moses.
Dress as Moses.
Yeah, because I just happen to have the costumes. If I do anything, I might do that, and my boyfriend might be the Ten Commandments.
Wow. So, what do you got going on so far?
Well, I'm currently on tour with comedian Margaret Cho. I'm her opening act, but she and I, we've been working together at various capacities for about 10 years. But anyway, so I'm her national opener right now, and that's really what I'm focused on. We're doing 22 cities, and we're just at the beginning of it, so we've got a ways to go.
You had a show going on as well, too.
Oh, yeah, with Margaret Cho, you mean?
Yes.
Yes. That was I believe we shot that in 07, and I think it aired in 08. Yeah, we did a reality show on VH1. It had a very short life. We were trying to do something progressive, and it didn't quite work out. We've got other irons in the fire as far as TV goes.
In terms of a female role, would you consider actually combining those two types of entertainments to make a good role?
Well, it just depends. I mean, once you decide to become an entertainer, regardless of the genre you go with, it's all entertainment. You can't really, I don't think it's a good idea to really separate it. Right now, my focus is stand-up comedy, which it has been for several years. But I don't separate that from acting. When you're an entertainer trying to survive, trying to make a living, you have to explore all facets of your talent and try to seek out any opportunity, whether you're a dancer, an actor, a comic, a broadcaster. I've done all those things, and it's really just it's just all showbiz. Don't really separate it. A gig's a gig. So as far as burlesque and acting, I've never really intentionally thought of marrying the two, although I've done little bit parts as a burlesque dancer in a scene, like of a movie. To me, it's just a part's a part. It has nothing to do with burlesque.
But, I mean, considering both of them have, of course, a little similarity in terms of the movements and in terms of a little bit of a story on both ends, if you look at it. Some people think different, but if you combine the two, you can actually range out those type of emotions, at least for the female role.
Yeah, I mean, everything requires choreography, whether you're on camera or on stage, dancing. I don't know, when you get an acting part, you just do whatever is asked of you in the role. I mean, and as you just mentioned a second ago, everything really comes down to you're telling a story. Whether you're performing burlesque, performing stand-up, or in a film, ultimately, you are there to convey a story, whether you wrote it or not. And so in that regard, it does all kind of meld together.
Do you think image is a little bit too relied on or even too much of a distraction in the entertainment or film industry?
Not at all. It's the definition of entertainment. You can't separate the two. You cannot have showbiz without an image. What showbiz actually is selling a product. So whether you're selling your product with a microphone, on stand-up, castles, burlesque, with acting, at the end of the day, it is an advertising business. Trying to separate image or female image, that doesn't make any sense, then you're in the wrong business.
There's two different kinds of the kind of, I guess, seduction. There's one that's a tease, and then there's one that accentuates the character.
Yeah, and I think what the real issue with, I'm assuming we're discussing the negative image of women, the sexualization of women.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's where you're going. I think that has been brought upon women by the internet. Not so much movie making. It has spilled over into entertainment, but the internet has created a culture of the pornification of girls and women, which I don't find empowering. I'm not that thrilled about it, but as long as someone is a consensual adult, have at it, do whatever you want, unless you're like, a slave in the human trade, industry. No one is pushed into making a film with a gun to their head.
No, it does look coarse in some aspects. Like you look up there, especially on the newer films, you see the younger people on there as well, and that's not a bad thing either. But when you look at these younger females, but they always have these portrayals like the slut or a minor role or somebody. It kind of seems degrading.
I mean, obviously that's not. Well, obviously I shouldn't make assumptions that it's obvious to anyone. But to me, that's just obviously not a good, positive thing that I would want to be involved with. Yeah, of course, I wish there were smarter, more dignified roles for women. It's an ongoing struggle, I think, and it has been in the industry for years, especially since the pornification of women online. There seems to be this general delusional image of what people now believe women should look like or be like, and of course I'm not on board with that. I'm the kind of entertainer who wants to be heard and have something to say, but also I'm not your conventional off-the-rack girl. That's not something I deal with normally. It's not like I audition with beautiful models, so that's really not, it really doesn't affect me directly, not in general.
They mainly just see, it is a product to look at this type of product, but also how this product is put out, instead of just looking how this person can act or react to a role, but they more likely go for the looks.
Yeah, well, showbiz in general is superficial. I'm in agreement with what you're saying. So, I'll be honest. My biggest concern is how I'm treated as a little person. The way I'm treated as a little person, the discrimination I get doesn't even compare to what women deal with as far as body image goes. So I think that's why it doesn't really strike a chord with me, because my issues are bigger than that. And it's not my personal issues. It's what I'm battling up against as far as image goes.
It's always going to be like that because it's just the fact that they want something good. It's like commercials, for example. They want a more attractive, or even seen on boxes of products. You go to a store and you look at, let's say, a pool or something. You see a family, right? You always see a muscular guy, and you always see a more athletic, attractive build. And it's like when you watch on screen on these newer films, or including old school as well, without a doubt, is that you see these women portrayed as what you want to see, basically, rather than what you could see.
Right.
And when it comes to the performance-wise, do you think that it's actually becoming a little bit better in today's era? Do you think it's lacking even more?
Well, again, as I just mentioned, what does impact me career-wise is how I'm treated as a little person, having nothing to do with being a woman, having nothing to do with being Mexican. My primary image battle, I think that's what we're discussing, is about being a little person. A little person in showbiz is rarely treated as a human being. You are seen as a creature. You are treated in the most dehumanizing way. But I'm volunteering for this business because I'm hoping to influence a positive outlook on the way little people and disabled people are generally seen as in entertainment and in film.
Yeah, and for the most part, they're used, and when I said, I use that word loosely, they use them as props or...
Absolutely, yeah, that's what I mean by dehumanizing. You're just a prop, you're not an actor, you're just a little person filling a scary costume.
I mean, just because you're small or just because you're incredibly tall does not mean you're incapable of these abilities.
Exactly. Exactly, and that's the only point I'm trying to drive home with your, choice of topic, is that I am aware of the negative image that women are portrayed in, but if you want to discuss my personal experience, that doesn't really affect me. What affects me is being treated as a non-human, period.
Yeah.
Which is why I chose to go into stand-up, because in stand-up, people have to listen to you on your terms. You have full control of your material.
Yeah.
I chose that route.
Rather, purely go into film because you'll ultimately be judged, and you also will be put on the spot in terms of...
Being judged is not an issue for me. I don't care about being judged. I really don't care what people think. I care about how I'm treated on the job.
Yeah.
I mean, but for the most part, and although it's in varying degrees, Hollywood... really, people have to understand that Hollywood, the business itself, discriminates against everyone. No one is special. I mean, I have a really good friend of mine who's a gorgeous, stunning model, and sometimes she's too pretty for the part. And I know that's a stupid luxury problem, but I'm just trying to illustrate an example of that the business is brutal, and it discriminates against everyone, and you have to be prepared to take charge and take control of your own image. Don't expect someone else to do it for you.
Well, go ahead and plug in any websites, any projects, or any tour dates that you're doing, or anything in general.
Yeah, all my tour dates are on my calendar at my website. It's SeleneLuna.com, spelled SELENELUNA.com, and check out my calendar. There's all my show dates on there. And but I constantly update and keep in touch with everybody on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. So I'm very easy to get a hold of.
There you go, Selene Luna.